Alright, again, so after you're happy with how your editing looks on the Photoshop to posterize, alright, you're just gonna do File, Save As, and you can just keep it as a Photoshop file. That's fine, and just make sure to save that in your folder. So I'm just gonna save this in my computer graphics folder. So save it, click OK. Alright, then you can close it Photoshop after you're done. Alright, so all you gotta do is just look for your file that you edited and just click and drag that onto the Illustrator.
I can't close it.
You can't close it?
I can't.
What does it say when you close it?
There is no like
Alright, we'll just look at what I'm doing. Yeah. It's just because I have a video going on. Alright guys, so after you close it, you're just going to click and drag the, it's going to be a Photoshop file. Click that and drag that into Illustrator. And then it's going to give you like all these things on preview comments. You can just click on convert layers to object and click OK. And then it should just transfer your photo onto the Illustrator. So it should perfectly transfer it over. You know, some of you may need to adjust the artboard a little bit. Make it bigger or smaller. It's up to you though. But yeah, I'm just going to lock this layer. So this layer is going to be my photo layer. If you want to, you can rename it so you can title it picture. Just like how we've been always doing it. So picture. And then just like how you did with your practice, the second layer is going to be your values. Okay, so we're not going to do like a an outline layer anymore. Yeah, we're just going to work on the values, and even though we have like a separate file for the work you did with the line work, you can always transfer that line work onto your values. Okay, now I'm going to show you how that's going to look later, but we're just going to focus on just your values for this drawing part. So you might want to zoom in on like a specific area of the portrait. So I'm going to zoom in real close on the face. Okay, but essentially now we're just going to be just tracing the values that we see. Alright, now just a recommendation though when you do your values. I really recommend doing the values that are a lot smaller on the face, and then work toward the values which are a lot larger. Or like when you look at it here though, like all your darker values, like here, like my blacks. Okay, it's like a little portions of these areas are black. So I would just work on your blacks first, and then work on the darker grays, and then work out toward your other values. So you can work on your darks, your grays, and then work toward your highlights. So I'm just gonna start with my dark areas. So I'm gonna use my eyedrop tool. Again, just eyedrop this black here. Okay, so I'm gonna use the pen tool again, and I might want to zoom in real close on here, and I'm just gonna trace in this black area. Alright, just remember what we talked about last class. It's real important to trace the shapes of the picture. Okay, so you really want to trace those shapes, and then if it's hard to see the lines that you're making, flip this around, and just trace the outlines of the shape. So all I'm doing is just tracing the shape here. So I'm just tracing the black shape first. Okay, and then I'm going to deselect it. And then we'll work on this little detail on this eye. So there's a little bit of the dark gray on here. So I might actually want to eyedrop this gray here. Just it's kind of hard to pick this gray here. I guess you could pick it if you click it. Yeah, if you click on all the mouse button, you can actually, like it's going to show like those different values. But essentially, I'm just tracing my the values and the shapes right now. That's all I'm doing. So I'm just gonna flip this black around. So if you're looking right here, I'm already done with my eye. Alright, but then like you want to work toward the next value. So like I'm using the eyedropper again. This time I'm gonna work on the I'm gonna work on this dark first. So I'm gonna work on this eyebrow. Okay, and just like the practice that you did, you have to really think about your shapes. Okay, so it's kind of hard to see like the shape of this eyebrow, but you know it's an eyebrow. So I'm just gonna do a black shape all the way around to draw out that eyebrow. So some of these you have to kind of guess what the values look, because when we did the posterized effect, it does kind of like deteriorate some of your line work. So I'm doing the eyebrow here. I just drew it as a shape, and then next I'm going to work on this this darker purple. So in this case, it'd be your darker gray. So I'm just tracing around here, the darker gray. Alright, but if you've been doing the practices and utilizing all those tools that we've learned, okay, so it's gonna be kind of hard to see, so I'm gonna flip it around. This project should go by smoothly, but this is gonna take a lot of time to do for the portraits. So I'm actually gonna end my shape here. I'm actually gonna draw like another darker gray up here, but I'm just gonna continue. I'm just gonna finish the shape up just to show you. What it looks like once you're done. But yeah, you want to utilize all those tools and tricks that we've been using. And real important, your values, always trace it into shapes. Alright, so I'm going to flip this around. And then, just like what we did before, if you go in your layers window on your values. Okay, so this value is the one on the top, but if you click and drag it down, it's going to go behind everything. Okay, so do utilize that. So you can either click and drag it down, or you can right click, click arrange, and send back. Alright, so you're just going to keep going until you're done with all those values. There was another value here that I missed. So I'm going to hold Shift X. So you see what's this gray here? Sometimes you have to change the outline though to get those extra values. So, whoops. Oh, you gotta deselect it. So I did. So you can just select that way too. But I'm just gonna get this this lighter gray here. But essentially, you really want to trace those values, and the more values you trace, the more detail that portrait's gonna look. So, I'm just being real nitpicky here, but if you want it to look real nice, then you want to try to get all those values. Alright, since that was the new value I added, it's going to obviously be in the top. You can kind of see how this is slowly, changing now, the picture. So I'm just going to go back to this black here. You really want to think about your shapes and the values, and it's just like what we did with your the drawing of the shapes. I'm actually going to end the shape right here. So it might be a good idea just to break your shapes up. It'll make things a little bit easier. Alright, so I'm going to connect these 2 points together. Always want to connect your shapes together. Whoops, looks like it's not connecting. Let's see how it looks, even if it's not connected. Okay, that's pretty good. So just remember though, you can use your direct selection tool and select these points to fix these lines. You can always fix these areas. Alright. You can kind of see how it's slowly starting to build together. Oh, this part got a little weird. So this is kind of the reason why you want to connect all those points, because sometimes you have weird looking things that happen. Alright. So guys, any questions on that? Questions?